and welcome to Raja Wellness. My name is Jenny Marie Greeno, and I am a licensed acupuncturist and herbalist in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. I'm the owner of Raja Wellness, and we are an integrative medicine clinic with an emphasis on East Asian medicine. And I wanted to take a couple minutes to just explain how I came to be here in Kentucky and practicing Chinese medicine. Because a lot of times I hear from patients, does this acupuncture stuff even work? What's up with these herbs? What kind of stuff does acupuncture treat? And I completely understand that skepticism. There was a point in time in my life when I thought that acupuncture was nothing more than a really elaborate placebo. And if you go back about 15 years, I had a wonderful German Shorthair pointer, and he just was running down a hill after a ball and stepped wrong and fell and twisted his back so badly that he couldn't even walk. I took him to the vet. They said he's pinched a nerve, there's no fracture, put him on the medications to try to help him. And within 24 hours, he had projectile vomiting and diarrhea. So it was very clear that we were not going to be able to do the standard of care. And the vet said, well, there's no other option. I'm sorry, you're going to have to put him down. And I thought, this is a really good dog, and he's only 5. I just couldn't bear it. So I found a vet who did acupuncture and chiropractic, and I took him to see him, not expecting anything, but I was desperate. And within 6 visits, my dog was running, not just not in pain, but running like he'd never been injured. And I thought, okay, there's more than a placebo here, because you can't just tell your dog he's going to get better, and if they get better, it doesn't work that way. So a couple months later, I started to have this creeping sciatic pain, and the doctors offered me some painkillers, and I thought, I don't want to go that route. So I tried acupuncture. And the doctor that saw me, he took my pulse and said, there's some things with your kidneys and liver, and I didn't understand really any of it. But the bottom line was, after 4 or 5 treatments and taking some of his herbs, my pain was completely gone, and it never came back. And oddly enough, even after that experience, I just kind of forgot about acupuncture. And I had a disc in my neck between C6 and C7. It spontaneously ruptured. It created a constant aching pain down my arm that was probably a 6 out of 10. If I moved or did anything, I was easily at an 8, 9 out of 10, just wanting to cry because it hurt so bad. I had no feeling or use in these 2 fingers. I lost all the strength in my tricep. I did the PT, I did the medications, I even did the surgery. None of it worked. And I can remember that crushing moment of sitting there in front of the neurosurgeon as he just looks me in the eye very directly and very solemnly and said, I'm sorry, but this is your new normal, and you're just going to have to learn how to live with this. And again, in that moment of desperation, I remembered the acupuncture, and I thought, I have nothing to lose. Everything else has failed. So I went and found an acupuncturist. At this point, I was living in Washington State, and he took my pulse, and I have to remember, as he's taking my pulse, I'm holding my chart. He's never seen it. He knows nothing about me. He rattled off my entire medical history, including why I was there, which was my neck. And he said, and you're not sleeping well, but you're going to argue with me about that because you don't know it. And I thought, man, this guy's kind of a jerk. But he's right, except the sleep. I'm sleeping fine. So I began seeing him for treatment. Within 6 weeks, I was largely out of pain. About that point, I decided to take his herbs because he kept bugging me about my sleep. And after about the 3rd night, I woke up. Man, I'm going to have to tell him he was right. It had been so long since I slept well. I had no idea that I wasn't sleeping. About 3 months into my recovery process and working with him, I had an epiphany one day that I was very good at my job. I was a program manager for the Navy. It was easy for me. I was on fast track to make senior executive service, and I fundamentally hated it. And I thought, 20 more years of doing this just doesn't make sense. So I started looking at my options. I talked to my friends who were doctors. A lot of them were very unhappy with the restrictions that they had to work with, always having to go first to the pharmaceuticals. And I just decided, acupuncture has changed so many things in my life. This is what I'm going to do. So I went back to school. It's actually a 4-year program. This isn't something that we can learn to do in a weekend class. And it's a very intensive program. We're learning not just the Chinese medicine and East Asian medical model of how to think about the body and the meridians and the points and the ways we stimulate those points with needles and pressure and different techniques that we learn, but also basic pathophysiology. What are red flags? What are concerns that we need to have to know, hey, I need to refer this patient out for additional care. We also learn herbal medicine, particularly the Chinese herbs and the pharmacology behind them, and we also learn how to identify potential drug-herb interactions. So we can actually look at a patient's prescription list and go, okay, you're a candidate for some herbal medicines because we can safely work with these medications. And in some cases, we can't. And at that point, we work with food therapy and acupuncture and other techniques that we have. East Asian medicine also incorporates cupping, which you may have seen with the Olympics. Michael Phelps made it quite famous with all those great marks on his shoulder. There's also a technique called gua sha, which literally translates as scraping sand. And it uses a tool to stimulate the surface of the skin and help to break up any stasis in there. We'll go into all of these different techniques in future videos of Ask the Acupuncturist to learn more about what we do and how it works. But this was really, I wanted to take a chance to let you know, when you walk in the door and you don't know if this is going to work and you're very skeptical about it, I understand that. And I can tell you from experience, both as a patient, as a provider, as somebody who actively follows the research, there's an awful lot of science behind what we do, and I look forward to opening up some of that mystery and helping to share what it is that we have to offer with East Asian medicine here at Raja Wellness. Thanks so much for joining us to learn a little bit more about why we're here and what we can do. If there's something you would like to hear about on our Ask the Acupuncturist series, please leave a comment below and let us know. If your subject is selected, you could win one of our Pain Terminator packs. These are great topical patches that help with all kinds of muscle aches and pains. And be sure to check out our other videos and check out our website as well, www.rajawellness.com. We've got some additional information there and links to research and other things that you